Camerino and 3 of his little friends went into the woods looking for food. They were looking for little ground nuts and berries that were dried up on the trees that had fallen on the ground. While they were out in the bush, radical Islamic troops came into that area and saw these little boys, and they began to pursue them. What happened next was unbelievable. The Islamic soldiers surrounded the boys who were hiding in the tall grass, and they literally lit the grass on fire.
The next morning, we got up very early, packed up, and headed back. We were going back to Nimalay. And on the way, we had stopped in this little village called Moli. And there was a commander there that Ray was going to interview. And as we were getting all set up and getting ready to do this interview, there was several women that came, and this one woman had asked us if we could come and look at this little boy. And so we slowly took the blanket off of him, lifted some of his clothing, and even as we did that, some of his skin was coming off. He was over 40% burned. You could smell the burning skin. It stunk very bad in that building. He had flies all over him. Debbie, who was on our team, who was a nurse, took a look at him, and she said, "We need to get him out of here now."
After we found Camerino, the team, as we sat there and we looked at him, we were just in shock at what had taken place. We all reached down and grabbed the plastic that he was laying on. There were about 6 of us, and we just gently picked him up. And while we were picking him up, Camerino was in such pain that you could just hear him going, "Ow, ow, ow," and he was screaming while we were picking him up. And all the while we were hauling him to the 4-wheel drive, and we gently slid him into the back of our truck. And then we began the 5-hour journey back to the base camp. For us, it was really a very emotional time because of the pain he was going through, but just the fact that God had allowed us to see this little boy and to be able to actually save his life and bring him back to the hospital.
Camerino is just one example of the horrific suffering the church in Sudan faced during more than 2 decades of attacks by the radical Islamic government in Khartoum. James Jetta and Paul Modi were orphaned and severely burned by Islamic soldiers for refusing to deny their Christian faith. Damare had his knees and feet nailed to a board when he left the camels of his Muslim owner to go to church. But while flames of hatred fueled the assault on our Sudanese brothers and sisters, the voice of the martyrs set out to bring a testimony of love and encouragement to remind our Sudanese family that they were not forgotten. VOM has been active in aiding our Sudanese family for more than 10 years. We have delivered more than 250,000 blankets, tens of thousands of Sudan life packs, food, medical aid, countless Bibles, and He Lived Among Us gospel storybooks. In 2005, the government signed a peace agreement with the Sudan People's Liberation Army. The agreement promised a referendum vote in 6 years. The Christians of South Sudan are now rebuilding their lives and their country by simply sending good, clean blankets to the voice of the martyrs. You are literally standing with your Sudanese brothers and sisters in this crucial time in their country's history. All blankets received are properly sorted, baled, and packaged for distribution into Sudan. And with each blanket, VOM will also distribute a copy of He Lived Among Us, an illustrated Bible storybook. While we know the need in Sudan extends beyond blankets, this program offers a practical way for all of us to get involved, to let our Sudanese family know that we are still standing with them.
This was the blanket that Camerino laid under. And this blanket, you can see, is just like an old burlap bag with rips. And I mean, how could anybody stay warm under a blanket like this? But this is the situation that we found Camerino in, and many of the other little Sudanese boys and girls, and even the parents. The sight was horrific.
We could buy blankets overseas for almost the same cost of shipping them, but we didn't want to rob the American Christians of an opportunity for fellowship with persecuted Christians in Sudan. So it goes beyond aid, it goes into the mystery of what the body of Christ is. And we thought this was an incredible opportunity where people who have something in their own home can box it up, can give it to someone coming to their door, to become a part of the Christians in other nations. and perhaps someday they'll meet them in heaven.
To take part in Blanket and a Bible, simply send a good quality new or used blanket to Blanket and a Bible at the address on your screen. With each blanket, please include the cost of $2 to cover the cost of He Lived Among Us and shipping and delivering your blanket into Sudan. The nights in Sudan can be cold, and many Sudanese Christians are forced to sleep on bare ground. While we may not realize the value of a simple blanket, it is literally a necessity of life for Sudanese Christians.
During the times that I spent with the Sudanese, I told them that these weren't just blankets from some storehouse that we purchased. Every blanket was given by a Christian family who was praying for them, who cared for them, who loved them. And when the people received the blankets, you could tell on their face that they knew that this was a blanket of love.